Baohaus is a place with really loud music, inappropriate art, and fantastic Chinese food.
I feel like he looks like the Godfather. I'm like his fucking security guard or some shit.
We look like Kim Jong-il and Kim Jong-un. I would explain my food in that it is loyal to who I am. It's loyal to the Taiwanese Chinese pantry, but also my upbringing in Florida. Freshwater fishing, barbecuing. There are no ideas that are out of bounds.
We're cooking Chinese food on an American barbecue with Korean charcoal. That's how we get down.
Yeah, America. Yeah. I told myself that if I was gonna do Baohaus again, it would be the neighborhood restaurant of my dreams. The duck has been roasting in here for 45 minutes at 350, and we're gonna take it out right now. Okay, here we go. All right, you see, juicy. When carving the duck, take off the wings. You wanna be careful not to get into the meat of the breast. The breast is the most expensive part of the duck, and we are able to use it in the bao. Our duck dish, it's unique to us, and we're very proud of it. We will blanch the duck with our own proprietary mixture. Then we let the duck rest for anywhere between 24 and 36 hours. It goes into the smoker at 350 degrees for 45 minutes. Comes out, the breast goes to baos, and the legs and the wing go to our roast duck dish on the dinner menu. Here we go, right? Clean. The skin side is beautiful. And as you see, we cook it to rare because it's gonna go in the salamander. So it comes out medium rare and the skin extra crispy. I think people like baos because there's a sweetness to them, there's a fluffiness to the texture. From their introduction in America in the early aughts, have been a viral trending food. Ibrahim is bao man. This is his station, all right? The guy makes the best baos in the house.
Now I'm gonna get my bozo because we want them steaming hot.
From the inception of Baohaus, the menu was always changing. But what you're gonna see this season here is a brisket bao, a lamb bao, a chairman bao, which is our pork belly, the birdhouse bao, which is fried chicken, and then we also have the crispy duck bao, which is my favorite right now. Nailed. Baohaus has grown from just a bun shop on 137 Rivington Street to a full-service dining establishment, lunch and dinner. So this is the leg for the main, and we'll roast these in the oven longer. They'll come out later. For the roast duck leg and wing dish on the dinner menu, we take the duck carcass, duck fat, create a braise, and then we serve the pickled mustard green and the braise underneath the roast duck. It's delicious.
All right, we got this brisket, and we're gonna cut it a whole bunch. A brisket, when it comes like this, is essentially separated into two cuts of meat. You have the lean side, which is called the flat, and the fatty side, which is called the deco. The fatty side we use for bao buns. The lean side we use for our stir fries.
He's just trying to get rid of all that hard fat that's just not gonna cook down like nicely. The decal is super succulent and moist, so it's optimal for the bao and just the eatability of that dish. We do actually use the fat in like parts of the restaurant. We use it as the base of our brisket jus.
I would say that the food currently on this menu is Taiwanese Chinese food through the lens of an American kid who grew up with barbecue in the South.
Just a quick note, Jasper is in fact using all of my knives.
I am using all of his knives. Shout out to Chef Ray for letting me use all of his knives all the time. My thing is that because I've been doing this that long, I didn't want to like show up to kitchens with like not that experience with like the nicest knife ever. That feels to me like some poser shit. And also like, you know, I don't know that much about knives yet. I'm still learning.
Which is why I'm gonna take you knife shopping for your
Why
birthday.
Chef Ray is gonna take me knife shopping?
I'm a man of my word.
So he says, but he's from Queens and they be lying.
That's crazy. Queens gets the money.
Queens does get the money. Shout out to Queens. All right, boom. All right, so now you see it's separated. So this is the flat right here, and this is the deco.
I aim for like a 1/4 inch of fat all around. That's just a personal thing that I've always done in my career. So like in traditional like Texas barbecue, they typically round out the brisket.
But this ain't Texas.
Yeah, we're not, this is New York.
And we were like, yo, we're not barbecuing. We're Chinese. What are you talking?
Yes. Jasper is China maxing.
Yo, listen, bro, I turned Chinese like a month ago, man. I'm doing great. It's changed my life.
That's when he got hired.
This is our house seasoning. You don't get to know what's in it.
Have you ever been to like a Chinese lamb skewer spot? It's very similar to that. So you're gonna get like cumin, some peppercorns. I'm not gonna specify which.
You're saying too much, bro.
I'm saying too much. I've done this every day for the past
Yeah.
week. The brisket has been selling very well.
And people love the Sacha.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's good. Let's go.
It tastes good.
The way that I would catch fish in my backyard growing up in Orlando and then smoke it in a big green egg, those techniques are here. I've never been able to do that in a restaurant in New York just due to size and space. Now with the back patio, I can bring all those techniques in. So it takes 2 Asian guys and a Romanian to get the temperature to 350 here, but we have achieved that. All right, took
God bless
3 of
America.
us. Yeah, God bless America. This is a double XL big green egg.
It's a me-sized green egg.
Yes. The fire department has come and they were like, shut it down. And then they came and they're like, oh wait, no, this is a proper commercial setup.
We've literally cut a hole into this canopy for an exit route for the smoke.
We use a very affordable Korean binchotan charcoal.
We're cooking Chinese food on an American barbecue with Korean charcoal.
Fuck yeah, America. Yeah. I was selling weed on a bench in Fort Greene, and I was making pretty good money. And my mom came to stay with me one weekend and saw people running in and out of my apartment and started crying. She was very sad that that's what her son was doing with his life. And I said, all right, I'm gonna take this money in the shoebox and I'm gonna go sell Taiwanese food, because that's the other thing I know how to do. But everybody loved it. They'd never seen food like this. We did it very authentically. When I was opening Baohaus, I started a blog spot called Fresh Off the Boat, published a book. The book became a 6-season TV show, and my career was off and running. And that took me out of the kitchen quite a bit, as you can imagine. In the pandemic, we shut Baohaus down, and I wasn't sure I would ever reopen it. We're ready for Jasper's brisket masterpiece. You see, you get the hard bark on there, red ring, but then it's ready to go through our process. Perfect. Our technique in smoking and roasting this brisket is unlike Southern barbecue. We take our brisket, we go in at 350 for 90 minutes. The fatty side of the brisket goes into a braise. So then you get a smoky Taiwanese Chinese braise. We slice it thick for the bao and serve it with pickled pepper mayonnaise, cilantro, peanut, and sugar. The lean side of the brisket, it gets a nice hard bark on it, builds that flavor. Then we cut it, we freeze it for about 2 hours. Take it out of the freezer just so that it's solid enough to hit the deli slicer. We get thin, succulent ribbons of brisket that have the flavor and the smoke on the bark, but are tender enough to stir fry and pick up in a wok.
We like being mobbed up in the kitchen. As many people in here as possible.
Yes. I'm old, I'm 44, my knees hurt, my back got a herniated disc. I sit right here and watch from the stool. Ray has to admit, you like the stool now too. Like, you see the benefits of the stool.
It comes in handy.
So once the wok is real nice and hot, we're gonna throw some oil in there.
It's also like, I never surf. I think it's presumptuous to stand on a piece of wood in the ocean, but I boogie board. And like, this is like the height of boogie board. You're like in it, you know, like I'm eye level with the wok. The reason we go aromatics first is because the brisket's already smoked and sliced. You don't want to overcook it.
With the green peppers.
Yeah. They get the breath of the wok and then they impart it to the brisket.
We have oil, we have garlic, we have onions, and we have pickled green long hot peppers that we pickle in house. Because we're not lazy pieces of shit.
I think in Asian culture, the meat is like, pause. The meat is
The protein.
protein. Like Eddie and I's like philosophy for a lot of the dishes in the restaurant is like, you want to highlight a lot of the veg and the meats. And we honestly use the protein to almost season the veg. That's kind of how we look at it.
We're gonna go in with the brisket now.
Yes, sir.
There you go.
Nice little handful.
Go sauce, go sauce. Sacha is a sauce utilized in a lot of East Asian and Southeast Asian cuisine, the primary ingredient being dried shrimp that's pulverized. And then everybody mixes their Sacha in a different way.
So it's a kind of a double layer effect of like American barbecue smoke with breath of the wok smoke. So you kind of get that double whammy. Shout out to Emerald Lagasse.
Bam! I do love Emerald.
Shout out to Emerald.
I fucking love
Legit.
Emerald.
That's my man.
When it comes to the table, just looks like a Taiwanese Chinese stir fry you could get in any restaurant, but there's a lot of kung fu in it. The smoke, the acidity, and the breadth of the wok create an entirely new experience for the diner.
All right, if that one's good, that means like 5 times from now. Feel me?
Very good. I mean, we do need to tell you when to turn the heat on and off and when to toss. But
we changed the pick
very good.
It's not my fault.
This is Jaden. He's our expediter. Jaden is also the seafood guy. He handles all of our big seafood dishes. We entrust him with it.
Dover sole is actually one of my favorite fishes, so we're gonna put that in the smoker.
At this temp, we're gonna go probably somewhere between 3 to 5 minutes, just really kiss it with that charcoal smoke.
When I started cooking Chinese food, it's really intuitive, so we're not really measuring that much. We're just going by taste and feel.
He woke up one day and showed up with a box of snappers and was like, "Chef, can we make this?" And I was like, "Let's go." I was always very inspired by Christopher Walken as Frank White in King of New York, when he tells people, you know, you want to work with me? Meet me at the Plaza Hotel. And I'm very much like that with the cooks. You want to get down? Come get down. See, that's Jay and Silent Bob, Jasper and Jaden.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get this fish in the steamer.
So here, we're gonna make you the haha fish sauce. So brown butter first, brunoise shallots, garlic, a copious amount of fish sauce. We ferment these red peppers in-house ourselves. They're not as spicy as they are sweet, and you smell that brown butter fish sauce now, right? Filipino cane vinegar. This is my favorite vinegar, and then a signature of everything here is always our agave. Haha fish sauce. Pretty.
All right, so our Mumbo halibut dish, go with our soybeans in the pan, crisp those up. We soak these soybeans in water beforehand.
When I was a kid, the dish that I would always order when we went to Taiwanese Chinese restaurants if we were gonna eat fish was crispy soybean fish.
So we're going in with our Mumbo sauce now to deglaze those soybeans.
And now this is Jaden's innovation,
Yeah.
because originally this dish we made with a sauce that was similar to our Mumbo sauce. And Jaden just was picking up the Mumbo sauce and putting it in there. We noticed the color was different. And then when Chef Ray and I tasted it, we were like, yo, he's using the wrong sauce, but it might be the right one. You know what I mean? And we just stuck with Jaden's version. Mumbo is a sauce from DC. It's basically a modified duck sauce that Chinese carryouts did in black neighborhoods in DC.
Halibut was poached in olive oil, low and slowly.
Everyone who's Taiwanese that's coming here completely understands where that dish is coming from. It's a cool evolution to see. And then on top of it, the Jaden mistake making it Mumbo just cracks me up. Like, I like accidents like that. I told myself that if I was gonna do Baohaus again, it would be the neighborhood restaurant of my dreams. And I'm excited because I finally have a dining room and a canvas that's wide enough to cook the dishes that I love, that challenge me, that interest me. It's good. Let's taste it in the wok. That's good.
Right now.
The genesis of this dish actually started with me and Chef Carlos at the flower shop.
Oh, yeah.
I make like large things look small in my hand, pause.
Bro, that's gonna be a fire dish. I care about the neighborhood, I care about culture, and I care that people feel welcome here.